These two boxes of Rallyman are jam-packed with possibilities, and it's my intention to highlight all of the interesting things you can do with them. This is Shakedown. In today's Shakedown, we aren't racing ghosts around the docks in an illegal street race, are we? It's not too common to see a Bentley Continental kitted out with wings and splitters, nor is it common to see such a thing smash through whatever street furniture or passing vehicle happens to be in its way as it races around the streets for reputation, credibility, pink slips, or whatever it is these illegal street races are for. It's not like I'd know, is it? I can't even drive. What I do know is that gaming can allow us to partake in activities we can't, and in some cases shouldn't, ever do in the real world. And I know that the lengths of creativity on display in the Rallyman community knows no bounds. Today we're making use of Paydi Mayric's ISR tiles, 10 custom Rallyman tiles that take us through the obstacles of a street race, giving us new challenges to navigate and a new use for what we hope is a large pile of focus tokens. Some spaces will cost us a handful of focus to enter, and if we don't pay enough, we'll lose control instead. Everything else is pretty much a stock GT race. There's no pit stops, and the first across the finish line wins. Seeing as we're making use of the printer, why not also check out Jean Christophe Bouvier's Ghost Cars, another set of rules to give yourself someone to race against. The latest version comes with 3D print files for those of you with access to a 3D printer, but for those of us who are stuck with just 2 printing dimensions, all you need are 2 dice per car and some sort of glue. And if you don't have those, you can refer to this table. Basically, we roll a die to determine the ending gear of the ghost car and how many spaces it moved to get there, with rules regarding ending on corners and next to other cars changing that slightly, as I'm sure we'll see. That's really all there is to it. However, ghost cars don't generate focus, nor do they lose control, 2 things that we will probably do during the course of our race as a result of a handful of spaces on the street race tiles. We could cobble something together to give the ghost cars a certain amount of focus, but I don't think we need to worry about that too much. All I really want out of them today, other than seeing how easy they are to use, is to have 5 more obstacles to avoid. To keep things simple then, they are therefore considered to always have enough focus to enter the relevant spaces, in the same way that they are always considered to be fast enough to overtake a car en route to their ending space. With a black die and a white die for each car, these dice will also serve as their gear markers. So in addition to the race photos showing off my smudgy paint jobs, they'll be showing off my wonky gluing as well. Marvellous. Let's roll for the starting grid and get the first close-up out of the way. Here we are at an undisclosed location that looks suspiciously like an illegal street race around the dockyards. We find ourselves in 3rd on the grid. All we did to get there was roll all of the ghost car dice and arrange them in gear order. Rules from there are very simple. The yellow car is going first. We're going to roll the other dice for that car, and it's going to show how far we move and what gear we end in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces of movement according to the pips along the side, and the gear in the middle is the ending gear. However, when they're on a corner, they're going to take the gear of the corner itself, so the yellow car is going to stop in 2nd gear, right on the apex of the first corner. And it's as simple as that. We'll show you again with the orange car, who also moves 6 spaces, sticking to their lane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're going to also end on a corner. Their speed limit on this corner is speed 4. Pretty good position for them to be in. We're next. We would very much like to get up here in 4th gear as well, so that we have a route through. We would also like to have some focus at the end of our turn so that we can pay for spaces should we need to go through them. So with that in mind, we are going to go along this side of the first tile. There's a gear 3 speed limit there, so we will go through it in 2nd and emerge up here in 4th gear. That looks good for us. I'm going to roll those flat out, hoping to generate lots of focus and not a lot of hazards. Just the 1 hazard on gear 4. We're going to sit there waiting for the next turn with 6 focus in our focus pool. The red car is going to move 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in 2nd gear on the water hazard, I suppose that would be in today's Rallyman. In illegal street racing, it is a 10 focus space. So good job, the ghost cars don't have to pay for anything. And the purple car also moves 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and ends in second gear. And finally, the green car right at the back is going to move 8 spaces and end in fourth gear as we go into the next round. First up is the orange car around the outside. They are going to move just 3 spaces and they're going to end in third gear. We have the inside line against green. We have to be in at least second gear to overtake the yellow car, of course, and then at least third to overtake orange. So we can do that from fourth gear. We also have to spend 5 focus just to get into that middle space. So that will be all but one of our focus spent in order to pay for that. But then we can choose to come out in, let's think, fourth gear in the middle is probably the best bet. We don't have enough focus to go up here in this space. Anything higher than fourth gear in the middle would be a loss of control, and anything higher than third would also be a loss of control on the inside. So we're going to stop there in fourth gear to give us some choice on the next turn. I would like to go flat out so that we can earn that focus back, but of course that is a risk with these high gears and a brake die. Let's see what happens. Just the 2 hazards, and we end in fourth gear in the middle. Next up is the green car. The green car is going to move 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It wants to end in first gear, but it's alongside a car in fourth, so it goes backwards. It wants to end in first gear, but it is beside a car in third, so it can't, it moves backwards. And it wants to end in first gear next to a car in second, so it can't, it keeps going backwards until it finds a space in which it can stop, which happens to be the space that it started on, so it's going to end there in first gear with no progress. The yellow car is going to move 4 spaces and end in second. The red car is furthest along the track. It's going to move 6 spaces and end in sixth gear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maintaining its lane wherever it can. And finally, the purple car is going to move 4 spaces and end in second gear on the inside. First to move is the red car in gear 6. It's going to move 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and end in second gear. And then we are next in fourth gear. We would like to play it safe, and I think that's going to be breaking down to second gear and then coasting past our opponents. And then we can dip into third on the inside, come out in fourth, and then get all the way up to sixth gear. Now, there are some pricey focus spaces towards this end of the track, but I don't necessarily need to go flat out on this roll, so I'm going to play it safe, especially when there's a hazard on the brake. Our coast is good, and so is the next. Gear 3 is our second hazard to put us on the corner there. It would cost us 6 focus, all of our focus, to secure that 6th gear finish. And that might be what we need to do against these ghost cars who are ruthless in their overtaking. So I'm going to spend all that focus to guarantee a 6th gear finish. Next up is the orange car in third gear. They're going to move 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, and end in third gear. Yellow is going to move 6 spaces and end in sixth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they appear to be our main rival in this race. Purple car at the apex to the first corner only moves 3 spaces and ends in third. And the green car, having missed the last turn, is going to move 6 spaces and end in sixth gear. Next round then, the yellow car is moving first. They are going to move 7 spaces and end in fifth gear. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They cut all the way through the inside there. What can we do to try to catch up? Now, like I say, I would like to have generated some focus, and I've also put myself in a bit of a pickle by driving through a hazard space. So let's try not to roll too many hazards on this turn through there. I think I might be slowing down to, let's think, is fourth gear a safe speed, or should we go on the corner in third? I think we'll go in third, and this is quite the risk. 2 hazards on this roll and we will lose control. We only got the 1 on fifth gear, so we have managed to make it through the shipping containers, and we get 6 focus for doing that. Green car is moving 8 spaces and ending in fourth gear. The orange car is going to move 6 spaces and end in sixth, having a little tussle between them. The purple car is going to move 3 spaces and end in third. The red car is going to finish the round by moving 7 spaces and ending in fifth. These ghost cars are certainly quick to move. As we go into the next round and see what the orange car can do from fifth in the race, they're going to move 7 spaces to end in fifth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They want to end in fifth, of course, but they're on a corner, so they're going to end in third. Next up is the yellow car all the way out front. They're going to also move 7 spaces and end in fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Runaway leader there. We're going to have to try to catch them down. Before that happens, the red car is going to make its move. 6 spaces and ending in sixth, except that it's on a corner, so it ends in first, and that causes us problems for overtaking. First up, though, is the green car. They are going to move 7 spaces. 5 is the most they can do, and they are also speed limited down to gear 3. We have to work out a way through this corner and ideally end in 6th gear with a lot of focus. Now, I don't think we can get enough focus to go through both of these spaces, which is unfortunate, which might mean that we're going around the outside, which isn't ideal. So let's work out how to end in 6th gear as best we can. We need to be out of this corner at some point in 6th. We are also limited to 4th gear at some point, or at least it's a risk to get into 4th gear. So doing something like that is the best thing we can do. That's another gear 4 that we're risking going through. I think, though, that is the best that we can do. It's going to cost us 5 focus just to overtake the red car, and I think we're going to have to go flat out and hope for the best as we put ourselves on the outside path in 6th gear, or crash. We don't crash, that's a flawless set of dice, but it has cost us 5 focus, and we have earned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Finally then, to end this round, is the purple car at the back. It is going to move 3 spaces and end in 3rd gear. Next round then, and we are going first. We can threaten yellow, but yellow will always have a way to overtake us. So we are pretty much racing for 2nd, I think, at this point. Do I have enough brakes to get down to 2nd gear? Yes, I do. But that is not the kind of braking maneuver that you want to roll. So we're going to have to play it safe, except that we can't, of course, because we need to be in 5th gear to overtake yellow. And so we might as well plan out something like this. Now, I don't know how far we are going to get. We are certainly not going to roll those flat out. We are hoping to get quite far, but with 3 hazards on our first move, we are instead going to lose control in second gear. Every tile in the illegal street racing tile set is a red danger level. So we are in gear 0 and we don't pull any damage. There is no gear 0, of course, on these dice. So we'll be in gear 1 and we'll remember. And so we're going to hope that only a few people overtake us so that we don't lose all of our progress through this street race. Let's see what the yellow car can do to cement its lead. It's moving 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and finishing in 6th gear. The orange car is going to move 4 spaces and end in 2nd gear, and the green car behind is going to move 3 spaces and end in 3rd. The purple car at the back is going to move 8 spaces and end in 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finally remembered where all its gears were. As we see whether the red car can overtake us, it's very likely. They're moving 7 spaces and they are ending in 5th gear. Next round then, we are going to see the yellow car cross the line for a victory. They move 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. They have finished. The red car is going to move 8 spaces, crosses the line in 2nd. The purple car is going to move 5 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and end in 1st gear, blocking the inside lane there. Green car is going to move 7 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, keeping its lane. It's also going to end in 5th gear, which means it blocks us. The orange car is going to move 8 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the most it can do. Gear 4 on a gear 2 corner means it reduces its speed to 2nd gear. I'm in gear 0. I can't move anywhere because the green car is blocking me. And so that is my turn. Let's see if we can not come last then. As the green car makes its advance, it moves 7 spaces to end in 5th gear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The orange car moves 8 spaces to end in 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It can't come alongside green, so it goes back a space there in 4th. The purple car is going to move 6 spaces and end in 6th. And that means that we have to get up to 6th gear and pronto. So we're in gear 0, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6 would be nice. However, we would lose the use of one of our gears by entering that space. So the best we could do is end there in 5th, or we could come into this space in 6th gear by spending 10 focus, which we don't have. We are 2 focus short. So we are definitely not battling for 3rd place against purple. We're going to have to go through the inside in 5th gear, and that will mean that that is the best we could do. Because there is no other space that needs focus to pay for it, we can go 1 by 1 so that we can guarantee a high finish. That will be the best chance we have of finishing this race without giving our car to the victor, or whatever rules the street races were run under. Could have gone flat out, as it happens, always the case. But that is where we finish in 5th gear as we go into the final round. First up is the purple car. They are pretty much guaranteed to finish. They cross the line, 6 spaces of movement in 6th gear. Next up is green. Green is going to move 3 spaces, which is all it needed to move. We are going to not finish last, all being well. we're going to plan out a 4-5-6 dash across the line. We're going to go flat out for the hell of it. And that is going to be just the one hazard on gear 5 as we finish 5th on the day. And we watch the orange car lose its credibility. Yeah, about that. It turns out the orange car shouldn't have gotten stuck behind the green car back here. There was a space to overtake. They are always considered fast enough to overtake unless it's their last space of movement. So I've no idea why I did what I did. Seems that a rematch is in order, though if we've lost ownership of our cars, I'm not exactly sure how that's going to happen. What I am sure about is that illegal street racing is very difficult if you're the only driver who has to pay to enter spaces, or if those spaces come thick and fast like they do in this very minimal setup here. Spread the tiles out and compete against some human opponents, and you'll have a great time facing new challenges that will have dangerous consequences for any loss of control. It's great to be able to finally get these to the table, knowing how much effort it takes to make just 1 or 2 custom tiles, so props to Payday for a set of 10. The ghost cars aren't too bad, are they? It does help if you get their movement rules correct, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. As unpredictable obstacles to avoid, they do that job nicely, but as I say, you'll have a better time using them on professional racing circuits where they belong. The streets are for the reckless, for drivers who can afford to give away their finely tuned Bentley Continental for failing to finish anywhere but last. What a life that must be, eh? Catch you next time.